When and how should a catcher back up first base? Coming up next. Catchers need to back up first base in certain situations, and as an umpire that sees several travel baseball games at multiple levels, I can attest that my anecdotal experience tells me that less than half of the teams are doing this correctly. Some not at all.
Wait.
Anytime no runners are on base, the catcher should back up first base every time a throw is going to be made. Another time a catcher should always be backing up first is with a runner on first and a potential double play. On a double play, the first out at second is usually the easy out. Then the attempt at first can be rushed so that throw can be off a lot. And again, my anecdotal experience is that the batter runner makes it to second a lot on a double play attempt because the throw is off and no one is there to back it up. With runners in scoring position on second or third base, the catcher must remain at home. The only other fielder that must back up the throw would be the right fielder, and in some circumstances the second baseman may back it up as well. Finally, how to back up first. I see this done wrong quite often. Here is the catcher backing up first correctly. They almost always end up off camera because they need to take this route. They are only there to prevent the runner from going to second on an overthrow. Catchers that back up this way, straight up the line, are often wasting their time. This catcher will be too far from the overthrow, and the batter runner will often still get to second. Almost no one at the game notices a catcher backing up until it matters. Then they're impressed. I've heard many spectators say, "Wow, it was a good thing he was there," not realizing he's been there every time. He just didn't need to do anything until now.
Dad, that's the first time I outran the batter first.
Oh yeah.
What about with a runner on first base? There really isn't a hard rule when it comes to a runner on first. I looked at multiple sites and articles on catchers backing up first base with the runner on first, and they were not in agreement. So I asked our catcher what he did in that situation, and here's what he told me. It depends. On a double play, I obviously do because the throw to first is often rushed and missed. If the ball is hit to the third base side of the shortstop and the right fielder is covering, I don't back it up because the overthrow will be in the outfield. With two outs or a play that will be only at first base and a runner on first, he will back up usually if the ball is hit to the second base side of the shortstop. An overthrow will end up in an area where he can recover and still get back to home. He's done this so often and it's pretty much determined in the moment. In short, that's a pretty good explanation. A runner starting at first is a long way to get to home. The catcher simply needs to make sure he can get back in plenty of time should there be a play made at home. That means he needs to retrieve an overthrown ball and still be able to get back to the plate if the runner on first tries to go home. Counting on the pitcher to cover home isn't a good plan. Finally, what about a runner on first and third with one out and a clear double play ball? So I can see why a major league catcher would immediately back up that throw. They are superior athletes and the double play ends the inning. An error on the double play and the runner scores regardless, so backing up the throw to first at least keeps the batter runner at first on an error. If the double play is successful, the run wouldn't count anyway. I just don't see this level of sophistication happening at the youth level. Catchers, make sure you're doing this correctly even if your coach isn't teaching you. If you know a youth catcher, share this video with them so that they know their job on backups. I'd love to see more catchers doing this correctly in the future.